Turn the camera.
Eddie Hearn, stop being a scallywag wanker and bring Anthony Joshua here.
Eddie. Anything you can add to that, Eddie? Anything you want to say, mate?
Or does he want it? Because like a lot of his countrymen say they want it, but do they really want it?
Listen,
I believe it's for real.
Listen, man. Let me tell you something. You see that suit?
You can have it. You should buy me one after.
Listen, soup. Now let's buy me a cheeseburger. We even.
Yeah.
Like
no,
I said,
I think. Look, at the end of the day, I think Jarrell put in a great performance tonight. I think the whack performance was against an awkward opponent. I thought he boxed really well. It was exciting. It was entertaining. And I said to someone earlier tonight, I think he's going to be tough to beat. The one thing is, if he has a good chin, he's going to be very tough to beat. Because if he fights AJ, he's going to get pinged all over the place early. But if he can come through it, he's going to be very, very dangerous in the fight.
What would you say to that, man? All I know is I'm going to run that G-string Anthony English muffin Joshua in the ground. His gray poupon, crumpets and tea, mascaroon behind. Let's make it damn happen.
You're not gonna do that. He talking about jumping. You're not gonna do that. What are you talking about? We're talking about something that a pre-workout. This motherfucker has fucking music exemptions for testosterone. Like, get out of here. Be like, I've been doing my research on you. Who comes out of Olympics at 220 and go to 240 in a year? Like, get out of here. Man. You like a dickhead. I know bodybuilders don't put 20 pounds of muscle on a year. This is cheeseburgers, my nigga. Cheeseburgers right here. It took me 5, 7 years to put this weight on. I can see. 9 in 1 year. Yeah, your mom like a big belly chubby bitch. So stop it, Bob. Stop it. You're not going to talk. You're not going to beat me. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You're scallywag. You're fish and chips. Crumpets and tea. What you want to talk about? We ain't going to be any jokes. We ain't going to be any talking. Be your role model. Play a role. Your Uncle Tom. It's between real and playing a role, B. So stop it. Stop it. Yeah? You finished?
Ladies and gentlemen, to the first edition. It all goes down, as you can see. We can expect fireworks at the Garden on that date.
Stop crying, man. Not entertainment. Stop crying, man. Not entertainment. Not entertainment. Murder, man. Not entertainment. Come. Say nobody get out of the way. Come and face off. Oh yeah, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
Jarrell! Challenger for Brooklyn, 25 fights, 24 victories, 21 by knockout. NABO, NABA heavyweight champion Jarrell Big Baby Miller. The reigning and defending undefeated champion with the perfect professional record of 22 fights, 22 wins by knockout.
You remember?
Anthony Joshua.
Mike, y'all.
Sissy, prima donna, what's you need to do?
At this time, we'll turn the proceedings over to Eddie Hearn for matchroom boxing. Mr. Hearn.
Jarrell, stop! Go back!
Oh my mother, we cool.
Jarrell, go back!
He good, man. He ain't gonna hurt him.
Hurt yourself.
This is my boxing.
Take it easy, bro. Not entertainment.
Mike, please don't echo Mike. Mike, security. Get it, baby! Jarrell, stop it. Jarrell, relax.
Don't tell about that.
No, Mike is okay. Mike is okay. Mike is okay.
Your boy Big Baby Miller here. A lot can be said right now. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I messed up. I made a bad call. A lot of ways to handle a situation. I handle it wrongly, and I'm paying a price for it. I missed out on a big opportunity, and I'm hurting on this side. You know, my heart is bleeding right now. I hurt my family, my friends, my team, my supporters, but I'm gonna own up to it. I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna correct it, and I'm gonna come back better. And I'm humbled by the experience to understand, you know, how to handle certain things, man. And I'm gonna leave it as that. You know, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys out there. And you know, fighters, we go through a lot, and I don't want to make it a bad name for ourselves. And it's time to do right.
The substance, which I think the term used was adverse findings for that first sample. Enduro Bowl, what do you know about that?
I know absolutely nothing. I mean, I've read what you've read probably, that it's a weight cutting,
helps with endurance.
Yeah, endurance enhancer. It's very disappointing. And, you know, look, we'll wait for this B sample, but, you know, Anthony pays a lot of money to make sure that all his fights are tested this way. And this is why he does it. So...
What have you been told from? I'm assuming you've spoken to Miller's team, obviously. What have they
not
said
too
about
much.
the
I mean, look, they're
situation?
going to handle the situation. It's not really my business, you know. They're going to handle. Obviously, everyone's extremely disappointed. It's a fight that we wanted. It was a good fight. Obviously, they wanted the fight. You know, I saw a tweet from someone. I think someone said that Jarrell Miller had won the lottery and all he had to do was cash a ticket in, and he didn't do it. It's just one of those sports where, you know, you get home, we had a good laugh yesterday, got home, had me dinner. HGH and EPO, like, are you fucking serious?
2 further tests and substances have been reported by VADA, and
I'll be honest with you, it is fucking unbelievable. I mean, the first one, you know, I know Jarrell Miller well. I've given him quite a few opportunities. Don't get me wrong, like he's been worth it all the way. But what he has done, to be quite honest with you, is absolutely disgusting. And I always hope, and I always want to give athletes the benefit of the doubt, to say, okay, you took something, you know, someone gave you something to take, or you didn't know what you were taking. But do you know what is the absolute liberty about all of this? Is the way that he, after he failed that test on Monday, texts me, texts you, to say, I swear I've not taken anything. This is sabotage. This is just a system against me. Fuck off. It's an absolute, and you know what, it makes me sick that someone would go to those lengths in a fight. People have died in the ring, you know? And you're talking about Anthony Joshua, you're talking about someone, this guy has tried to get such an edge, and it's not just an edge of a little something. This is the whole hog. This is a man that is so possessed to get an edge over Anthony Joshua in a fight that could have, you know, who knows what could have happened. Anthony Joshua could have been injured in that ring that night. You know, something even worse. And all because the man weren't big enough, weren't brave enough to do it right, to do it as a sport. He had to cheat. He had to try and cheat the system. And it's frightening to think that this could go on. And we know it goes on. But to this extensive level, and this is a guy who signed for VADA testing. It's not a guy who goes, I won't get tested. He knows he's going to get tested, like every week. So what are you doing? Like, cheating's bad enough, but the bare-faced cheek of it to try and get through this. You must have been so afraid of this fight. You must have been so afraid of Anthony Joshua that you have to get this edge. And I am absolutely disgusted. And you know, all the questions like, would you work with this guy again? Because you always hope they were unlucky. Fighters are vulnerable people, right? They can get exposed, they can get manipulated. And you always hope in the past that if someone's cheated and they did know about it, someone talks them into it. This is probably the most extensive case of cheating in this sport we have ever seen. So, you know...
Does Miller know the fight's off?
Oh.
He just said Miller.
I'm gonna kill this motherfucker!
Does he know the fight's off?
Fucking unbelievable.
He's red raging, I think. He's getting mad.
What's that from?
No, someone said
Miller just sent it to me,
No,
saying...
he didn't.
He did. I don't think...
He obviously put that message out today.
Admitting everything.
Admitting,
it was
saying he
it was
messed
such
up,
a poor message. Like...
We
you know,
disappointed that Anthony Joshua wasn't
Of course. So you
mentioned
want
in
to
there.
come in, you want to insult a man's family and mother and tell him you're going to do this. You want to shove him on the stage. You want to tell him you're going to do this in the ring. You're going to knock him out. You're going to kill him, whatever else has been said. And then you go and take all this shit to try and do it. I'm honestly, like, I like to think I'm quite a forgiving person. This is disgusting. Disgusting. The first one, GW, what, I don't even know, I've never even heard of that before. Human growth hormone, an EPO. I mean, actually, when I spoke to AJ about it after the first test, he was like, you know, I think AJ even felt a little bit for him, you know? Like with his statement, we read the statement, it's like, well, you know, she's terrible, but it's not like he was like injecting Roy. Yeah, he was. I mean, and I spoke to AJ last night and he said, "Bro, do you imagine, like, I would just be pummeling him," and he just kept coming forward and like, yeah, that's what would have happened with this amount of shit in your body. Yeah. So what would have happened on the night? Because I'll tell you something now, Anthony Joshua don't quit in the ring. He wouldn't have given up. He would have kept going to every last breath. And I am disgusted that someone would try and take these lengths and gain these edges in a physical fight, especially against one of our guys, and especially against a friend of mine. Honestly, it's really, like, it's made me question many things, even the sport, you know? And you see Miller, I'm hurting inside. Fuck off, hurting inside. The sport's hurting inside, mate, because you've made a mockery of it. The World Heavyweight Championship at Madison Square Garden, all that money you were getting, but even not the money, the opportunity, you couldn't help yourself. Couldn't leave your hand out of the cookie jar. Ridiculous.
Did you see the video that he put out this morning?
No, I haven't seen it.
Show you. This is from today.
It's your boy here, Big Baby Miller, man. I just want to give a shout out to the fans and people out there. Listen, don't believe everything you hear, but we got a lot of great interviews and information coming out real soon. I want you guys to check it out and listen. Shout out to Andy Ruiz if he gets to fight. What else can I say, man? This is the sport of boxing. A lot of people want to point the finger. Remember, you got 4 pointing right back at you. Or is it 3? Either way, tune in, check us out. A lot of good things coming in the future. Sometimes it don't work out the way you want it to work out, but like I said, God got a plan, and I ain't going nowhere. Still in the gym. It's your boy here, Big Baby Miller, man.
What do you think?
I just think he should just come out and say, I did this. I heard a rumour saying, no, the HGH was for my elbow, because I had a bad elbow. What was the EPO for then? What was the other? I mean, like, I don't know what to say.
But
I mean,
it would be, I know it's irrelevant now, but it would be interesting to actually hear.
Yeah, but you can't, look, if you fail for one substance, I want him to be clean. I like Jarrell Miller. Do you know what I mean? I've worked my nuts off for Jarrell Miller over the last 2 years, giving him a lot of money, giving him a lot of opportunities because I like him and I rated him as a heavyweight. I got him in a position, I got him life-changing opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua. I don't want to kick the guy when he's down. I don't want to, I'm not enjoying this. Like, this has been a shit 10 days for me. And I know it ain't about me, but it's affected all of us. You know, we've invested a lot of money into that fight. We did a fucking media tour in London, in New York. I mean, the team's travelling dozens of business class, like, it's fucking painful. So I want him, I didn't want him to fail the drugs test. I don't want him to live in a state of, you know, depression or being upset. I just want him to tell the truth. And all this, oh yeah, but wait, there's a lot you don't know about. Yeah, wait and hear the real stuff. Just fucking tell the truth, mate. You failed 3 drugs tests. So why did you fail those drugs tests? Oh, well, one was but when you got history, okay, when something new happens, it ain't a good look, you know? and you're going to be treated differently to other people. Understand? But you'd also think you'd be even more cautious to say, I've signed up to VADA, fighting Anthony Josh for the World Heavyweight title. Wow, I'm getting a lot of money. What an opportunity. Just don't put any shit in your body. Just for 10 weeks. Like, can you not do that? That's what pisses me off.
Jarrell Miller was around Las Vegas over the weekend doing multiple interviews again. Now, say the dust has settled and kind of
settled, though, is it? Like,
okay. Well, it has settled a little bit because you've got bigger things to be worrying about than Jarrell Miller.
No, but I'm not bothered about Jarrell Miller, but the dust hasn't settled. How can you say the dust has settled? You know, at the end of the day, people ask me, will you work with Jarrell Miller again? Do you know what? In 2 years, 3, like, who knows what could happen? Right now, how can you work with Jarrell Miller? What mess, like, you know, this is, you talk about something that happened, what, 6 weeks ago? Or something like that? 8 weeks ago? It's just, it's everything that's wrong with boxing in that if you don't make an example of people that have genuinely, like, this isn't, you know, one little substance that, you know, could be found in this. This is just all out blatant cheating. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. And I've told you a million times, I like Jarrell Miller. But if we don't make an example of this, why do we even bother? What's the point in even testing? Why don't we just say to everyone, yeah, do what you want, because it don't matter. Take what you want, fuck it. Because there's so many hypocrites in this sport, and you know, in the past, I've had someone box on my show, might be a year and a half, 2 years after, and they've been fighting again. And at some point, maybe, but this is a situation where it's 8 weeks ago. It's still extremely raw and personal to me. And by the way, we might not have lost to Andy Ruiz if we'd have fought Jarrell Miller, but that's got nothing to do with it. But on a serious note, how, like, what's the point? This isn't one test. This is, I think, in fact, someone told me yesterday it was 4 tests, including urine and bloods, that were failed. But there's no remorse. But there's no remorse. And Raphael told me. There's no remorse. It's not like, yeah, look, I tried to get an edge, and these guys said do this, do that, and I made a mistake, and it's like, yeah, what it was, my elbow, and yeah, this other thing, I don't know how that got in there, but anyway, don't worry about that. I'm fighting soon. It's like, what the fuck, you know? So I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. But again,
what do you know?
What do I know?
But Ed, you got. I think we spoke about this before. The amount of people that have failed tests.
Yeah, but you're talking about...
No, I know that, but it does come down to a case of, like, whose story do you believe and who don't.
Not when you failed 4 tests, Coogan, for 4 different substances, for fuck's sake. What are you, 3 years old?
No, I'm not saying that.
Listen, hold, listen. I'm a man. You're a man. I always respect what you do. Even though you bash me on camera, I still got love for you.
Oh, I've still got love for you.
I think you're a great businessman. But, listen, man, I still want to come home. I mean, it got to make sense.
Is this man lining anything? Look at this. He got 1 victory. Now he's like straight pimping.
Exactly, yeah. I'm just
Chris Glover. Yeah, anything lined up for this man?
We had a chat. We had a chat. Some big fights out there. My recommendation was go and do your own thing. You know, time is a healer. I've got to go and see Madrimov, but you know, I've always said I'm disappointed with what happened, but I've got a lot of love for this guy. You know, he's got a big heart, and it's hard to hate him.
You heard it there. It seems like
I whoop his ass. All that everybody doing is gonna shut the fuck up. Especially Eddie Hearn. I want him to eat his words so bad. You know what I mean? I want to eat his words so bad. So I'm not gonna sit here and go blah 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 24/7. Fuck that. Just put me in the ring. You know what I mean? I passed the test before. I'm gonna pass it again. So I'm trying to say. The thing with Eddie is Eddie's a hypocrite, and that's what bothers me about certain. Because my thing was this, right? When I went to see Eddie 1 or 2 times, like I said, I'm in contact with people on Matchroom side, and I know people that's on the DAZN side. So, you know, a lot of people hit me say, we want to continue working with you, want to figure out a situation. So out of due respect for DAZN, I've never went out on the media, as you can see from before, and never said anything bad about Matchroom or nothing like that. Even though when Eddie was slandering my name in the media, I never went back and said anything crazy, because out of respect, I said, you know what? Okay, it's my fault. I made a mistake. Cool, no problem. I'm going to deal with it, suck it up. But the way I'm raised, the way I grew, where I come from, if you're a real man, you talk like a man. Sometimes me and you have an issue, we're going to deal with it. You don't go on camera, then when you see me in face, you smiling, giggling. I'm smiling, giggling too, don't get it wrong, because I understand it's a game at the same time. I respect that. I'm going to respect you, keep moving. But don't, 5 minutes later, you get on camera and you want to stand on my name, throw me under the bus, because you're trying to save face with the zone. That's all it really came down to. Him basically was throwing my name under the bus to save face.
You saw Miller's comments to you the other day. What did you think? Calling you a fraud
and disrespectful. I mean, is there anything more fraudulent than taking performance-enhancing drugs to try and win a sporting event? Is there anything more disrespectful? I mean, this is a guy who abused Anthony Joshua's family, basically, and stuck it on him face to face and told him all these things he's going to do, and he couldn't bring himself to try and do that fair and square. So he had to stick things in his bottom. So my beef, it ain't even a beef with I like Jarrell Miller, but he keeps piping up because he needs the profile. So sadly, we get to a stage where he's got to try and actually call me out to get a little bit of profile. But I don't, you know, we've been around here a million times, but don't call me disrespectful and a fraud when you've just injected things inside you to try and give you a better chance to beat another man in sport. I mean, the way I was brought up, which was obviously exceptionally well, but what was always, you don't cheat. You do not cheat in sport. You know, that's the one thing you don't do is cheat in sport. And I'd get a right clip round the ear hole if I cheated in sport. So for me, you know, what he did was unacceptable. But that's amplified because he did it to Anthony Joshua, who I class as a very good friend. But it's the way it played out. If he would have come out and, you know, it would have been a quiet presser and he wouldn't sue him. This is a guy who came out, like I said, said things about AJ and his family. This is a guy who accused Anthony Joshua of cheating. Went straight back into camp and cheated. So, but I genuinely wish Jarrell all the best. I like the guy, and I'm only responding to this in this way because he called me a fraud and disrespectful. I mean, very strange. But
your thing with Miller is personal, isn't it? You can't say it's not, because obviously
it is a bit personal. Do you know why? Because I really, and it's not even about the money. I invested in that guy. I backed that guy, and I believed in that guy, and I gave him the opportunity to fight AJ for a lot of money, and he said all these things, and you know, and it was just the way it happened. It weren't like just took something over a counter, and you know, there's three tests. Again, I ain't getting into it again. It's done. I wish him all the best for his career, but no, in this way he didn't want to sign with anyone else. He just wanted to sign with me and DAZN. I couldn't do it.